Isn't it interesting how on Friday the 13th I decide to finally make this video? So, well, 13 is a lucky number in Hinduism, so I guess I'm safe in that regard. In any case, I really wanted to talk to you guys about starseeds, okay? This is a term that you might have heard, okay? It's a fluffy light worker term that's become kind of, perpetuated. But I want to explain it from my own perspective, okay? Because I don't want you to get a wrong idea of it. And I don't want you to get so frazzled and confused by it. And let your homesickness, a lot of people call this homesickness of, oh, I'm a starseed, but I'm not in my family. I'm not connecting with my home. I feel lonely. I feel isolated. And oh, woe is me. Okay? Don't turn this into a sob story, because you clicked on this video for a very particular reason. You are a starseed, which means you have a grand vision for humanity. You're here to help humanity move forward, move its pendulum scale towards the golden age. So everybody is a starseed. This is my perspective, okay? I think everybody has a connection to a star system or a planetary system, because they were seeded from another planetary system. We're all made of the same star stuff, the star dust, right? In a sense. So first of all, it's about understanding that, hey, I'm a multi-dimensional being, okay? Which means that actually wherever my star system aligns with, or wherever I was from, I've got to understand that I'm there already. Okay, one of the versions of me is already there. A fragment of my soul is already there. So, the Earth timeline right now is we're moving from a 3D to a 4D to a 5D, which, again, if you don't know what that means, you probably need to do some research into that, because the planet is moving into a system right now which is very, very potent and powerful. We're going from the structure of willpower. Oh, look, the aliens have already... Oh, no! Okay. Let me just wait for this airplane to leave, and then I'll just tell you. So, we're going from this willpower ambition system into one of being more heart-centered, more connected to source, feminine, right? In a sense, because the 4D is divine feminine energy, and we need to go through that if we're going to reach our sovereign royal states of the divine masculine, which is in the 5D. Okay, so I believe that I am most connected to the Vega star system, also known as Alpha Lyrae, also has another name for it, as I've been told by one of my guides, who is most related to my crown chakra, whose name is Osmosis. I call him Osmosis because his name is too difficult to pronounce in the Vega system, so it requires a lot of pronunciation, and so he told me to name him. So I named him Osmosis from Osmosis Jones, the movie. I kind of got inspired by that. In any case, also because he's blue, right, in a sense, and Osmosis Jones is also blue in his beingness. So, how did I find out about this? And am I just a crackpot, crazy person talking about star systems? I used to think that I was completely bonkers when I used to think about, star seeds and all these different visions and different things that I've experienced, from multiple spiritual awakenings to, going through a lot of ego death or near-death experiences, where I've understood that there's definitely something bigger at play here. There's definitely something else that is connecting me to these energies. And it's very interesting, because today was meant to be the day that myself and my business partner, we talk with, let's hope it happens. I mean, Savannah is known for her time distortions, because she lives almost in the 5D in my perspective. Like, she's, here in the physical world. However, sometimes our timelines don't match up in a sense. So hopefully we get to talk to her. But she's one of the first people that I spoke to who confirmed the fact that, you know, I have this connection with the Vega system. Because, you know, in our first session together, she pulled out certain synchronicities and symbols that I absolutely resonated with, okay? And my connection to flow state, my connection to how everything just aligned, you know what I mean? Like, it just speaks to me in that way. So the first thing to understand is you internally can recall, and once you're in your awakening, you know, you can evolve and realize that this is actually happening. But we all have this kind of starseed amnesia, okay? It's very difficult for us to actually remember where we're from. And so you might have a bit of fuzziness, as I did when I first was discovering this stuff. It's like, is this fantasy or reality? Is this even true? Where's the proof? You know, should I read Dolores Cannon books? Like, should I, you know, go on the internet scrounging for this stuff? Like, how or what do you need to do in order to actually discover your starseed lineage? Now, a great idea would be to set up a session with myself and my business partner as I channel osmosis for you, and he can directly tell you what your starseed system is, because I trust these guides more than I trust my own, I guess, logical mind in a sense at times, because, you know, I don't know where you're from, I'll be honest, like, but these beings do, and so they'll give you a better answer than I can give you, you know, kind of going through my own system in regards to this. But in any case, if you're interested in that session, shoot me a message. But what I would say is, generally, you know, gazing up at the stars, okay? This intuitive feeling like you just know, right? And also this feeling of that you don't belong here on planet Earth, right? This feeling that, I don't know, I'm not meant to exist here for some reason. Like, I feel my home is somewhere else, somewhere intergalactic, somewhere. You got to watch out for this kind of thinking too. And I just want to give a warning and a disclaimer to people, because a lot of times trauma can make us feel like we don't belong as well. So again, everything's related, right? And a lot of these star seed systems, they're not all light and fairy dust. They have been through a lot of planetary war and trauma. Like, for instance, you know, Vega is a part of this star system, Lyra, okay? Lyra is the bigger star system, and Vega is the smaller part of it. And there was a Draco-Lyran war, okay, that took place. And basically, there were these... Lyrans are basically these feline creatures, right? They have very cat-like essence, or big cat essence. Big cat energy, right? So, so in that sense, you want to understand also that if you're getting a lot of dream symbolism of this place, or you're getting contacted through dreams by these entities or beings, it's highly likely that you might be a part of that system. Now, how did I find out particularly that I was associated with Vega? Number one, I would constantly see the word Vega everywhere, okay? And, you know, there's a brand of, I don't know if there's like a motorcycle helmet brand or some kind of a brand that I've seen on a motorcycle helmet that says Vega on it. And I kept seeing that, like, as I was in India here for the last maybe 2-3 years, I just, you know, have been seeing that motorcycle helmet in so many people's motorcycle helmets, right? So that reminder, as well as a lot of symbolism of dolphins and things like this that I would get throughout my life. What I knew that Sirius was a stronghold for Vega, so they were actually colonizers of other star systems, okay? This is how I discovered it. I originally thought I was from Sirius A or Sirius B, but then I understood that I was also highly connected with this kind of feline energy of Lyra. And as you guys know, like, I'm very drawn to the Royal Bengal tiger and tigers in general, and so Lyra was a strong thematic gravitational pull for me. I also wanted to say that, you know, I went to Vermont for college, okay? 4 years in the middle of nowhere where Courage the Cowardly Dog lives, okay? Basically. Like Bennington, Vermont. And what I started to discover is you could really see the stars there. It was incredible because you could really see the stars there. I remember once with my, one of my friends at the time, Maddie Weatherhead, Madeline, we were looking up at the stars, and I felt like this deep shift or connection once as we were just looking up at these stars in the night sky. I think we took out our mattresses out into the, basically there's like a pavilion right on our campus, and there's something called the end of the world as well, where we call it the end of the world because it looks like a horizon that never ends, really. It's like a hill that keeps going on in Bennington College. So there would be a lot of nights where I'd spend the night sometimes underneath the stars and just feeling that connection to the stars, I think is a deep clue as to what's really going on here. Now, Vega is also known for its travel. So in a sense, they've moved on to establish colonies in other parts of the world. They're also kind of very thrill-seeking or pleasure-seeking in a sense. So their traits could be like creativity, intense creativity, right? Their creative juices and their sacral energies almost overpowering to the level of artistic infusion with reality. So life and arts becomes one of the same in a sense for a lot of these creatures. And they're also old souls, very commonly old souls, Lyrans specifically, but more so. So Lyrans would be more so in their divine masculine essence, and Vegans are more connected to the divine feminine essence. So in any case, they're pretty inconsistent, which is why I love to practice consistency, okay? As you guys know, I post videos every day. And so that's kind of going against my natural Vega system, right, in a sense. And also, bring up the thumbnail of whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vega. You know, I went to Vegas once for a trip for social dynamics, and I remember at the time that was one of my greatest portals of really activating my character, who I really was. So I really discovered parts of myself there, and it was a bit of a culture shock. I do love the culture shock, though. I love to travel, and I've traveled a lot of my life, as you guys know, which is why I don't have a very thick Indian accent. However, what I would tell you is to practice being consistent, because you're not going to be, okay, if you are in this Vega system. Your thoughts will be very constrained. A lot of people's thoughts are very constrained by human notions and human error and thinking about humanity. This kind of thinking system of Vega is very hyper intelligent and hyper almost like hyper surreal and galactic, okay? They're also very commonly healers, and they have a keen sense for like clairaudience and things like this. I've always been fascinated with music, especially hip-hop, which has been very healing for me, as well as healing frequencies a lot of my life. So that aspect definitely resonates with me. A lot of this information I'm getting from other, healers, psychics, clairvoyants, who pointed this out to me, or I've done research online, or I've, read a bunch of books, also had very visceral experiences meeting these beings in my dreams and seeing Vega's planet of this kind of, incredible, misty, genetically modified, vibrant, effortless place, right? That just, it's difficult to describe really, but it's a very ethereal type of experience, being there or dreaming about it. So it's this kind of like seen as this blue race from the sun reflecting on Sirius. They were seen as blue or pale blue or lavender skin, oftentimes with silver or white hair. Hello. Okay, well, this isn't really it's more so blonde, but in any case, they have copper skin. Oftentimes they're associated with the East Asian and the descent of a lot of times they have darker skin, darker hair, but that's not a necessity, right? A lot of times, because these are energies again. So you could be a Chinese dude who's drawn to Pleiades, or you could be and because it's not like the physical race, like the race system is very, very different up in the up into space, okay? It's not like how we have, you know, African Americans or Chinese or, you know, Asian, like, you know, it's not like that. It's split, and it's very confusing, and it gets very deep into its history and its anatomy, and you know, the races, the star races splitting and creating these different races. So anyway, they're these blue beings, right? Kind of looks like a little bit like you know, the blue beings from the Star Trek, right, in a sense. And also, they came to Earth to heal and find themselves, okay? So one thing I wanted to speak about is a lot of Vegans, they experience this kind of egoistic or egotistic experience of life because of their self-confidence being very high, primarily from having a faith in their own instincts, okay? So they have a very high belief in their own instincts and natural intuitive abilities. So others who are in a humanoid form, such as myself, you know, you might be watching and be like, yo, this guy's so cocky, like what's going on, right? But really, that's seen as egoism in a humanoid form, okay? In Vega, that's completely accepted for you to own your truth and your confidence and your beingness. So it's really, I've just forgotten the abilities, and now I'm here on Earth, like trying to recreate and relearn how to love myself and have confidence here in this realm, whereas that's my natural compassionate state in Vega, right? So reluctance to stay in one place by themselves, well, actually, they're okay being by themselves, right? They're solo travelers more so. However, you know, I've traveled most of my life, so I understood that wanderlust, or that, you know, pilgrim soul energy of Vegans, like wanting to explore, you know, wanting to colonize other star like planets, right? That takes curiosity, that takes, you know, learning about space travel, that takes a lot of time, energy, efficiency, peak performance, right? And so that's why I feel primarily drawn to this essence, and they have this empathetic but competitive essence. So basically, they're so compassionate and care for the impact of the planet. They have this boundless level of compassion. So sometimes they'll compare themselves to other people on this earth realm, like, oh, they're more compassionate than me, or they're more friendly than me, or they feel, you know, different energy. So a lot of these beings have different frequencies. I would say Syrians, or Sirius, right, has a lot more of a warm type of energy, like a friendly vibe. Vegans have more so an intense but caring energy. You know, Arcturians, they're kind of helping to heal the emotional body. They're very associated with, like, you know, healing the planet, mainly associated with technological advancements, genetic modification, things like this. So technology, working with the hands, you know, carpenters sometimes, or people who are very, very, you know, used to working and building things with their hands, or were drawn to Legos when they were a child and things like this, right? Also, you'll start to notice that, you know, there's a lot of synchronicities that will show up for you, okay? A lot of synchronicities that will show up for you. So one was the meeting with Savannah, which helped. Savannah, right? Savannah, just changed her name up, which helped to kind of clarify the beliefs and doubts that I had. But any doubt that you kind of have is just proving to yourself that it's keeping you in the 3D world, right? It's not letting you explore the multidimensional realms of what really might be going on for you, and specifically for you, right? So my advice to you would be just start exploring and set the intention that I want to find what my star system is. Go underneath the stars, somewhere where the stars are more directly visible, not somewhere where it's very dense and cloudy and misty. Okay, so you got to travel a little bit if you're living in a place like, you know, that doesn't really have many star sightings. You need to be somewhere that can awaken that. So for me, it was in Vermont where I first discovered this. And then from there, you know, it kind of started to expound upon itself once I figured it out, right? I put the pieces together. I made sense of all my dreams. I got confirmation. I learned how to muscle test and confirm these things. I gained in my intuitiveness, basically. I trained my intuitiveness to understand that, yeah, this is really true, and this is what is happening, okay? So it might not be so immediate for you, and you might struggle with this a little bit. So if you're still struggling with this, or you know, you've trying to find what your origin is and you can't, I'm here to help, okay? I'm here to support, because I believe that, you know, we're all here for a very specific purpose, to help move the pendulum of humanity forward from this dark ages to a golden age. And I truly believe that that's what starseeds are here for. Okay, they're seeded from another planetary system to be here in this particular timeline to help us make that ascension jump. So they're essentially way showers for a specific path, working to get you towards your best self. So oftentimes your best self can be connected with your starseed essence, oftentimes, like just how, you know, my crown chakra is more so related to that. You know, Osmosis, Sire Osmosis, I call him, because he's a prince of sorts, in one of the legions there. So yeah, that felt good to say. I've been holding all of that information within me for a while, so that felt good to express to you guys. Hey, if you don't resonate with this, if you think that, you know, I'm going absolutely bonkers, feel free to unfollow or unsubscribe. I really don't, you know, it is what it is, you know. But at the same time, if you do resonate, if you're like, yo, this guy's now stepping into his power, like he's in his golden shadow right now, like he's speaking and it makes sense to me. And I watch, you know, Gaia TV and Cosmic Disclosure, and I know about the Greys, and you know, if you're resonating with it, then welcome, baby. Welcome to the evolution. Welcome to the channel. I hope you're having an incredible day today. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. Let's crush it today. Absolutely. On down. Let's go.